Configuring the database? Symfony uses the .env file to configure the database connection. The database URL variable specifies the database type, username, password, host, port, and database name. This setup allows Symfony to connect to your database and perform operations. Step 2. Creating an entity. An entity is a PHP class that maps to a table in your database. It defines the structure of the table through properties and annotations. Let's break down the key components of an entity class. 1. Annotations. Entity marks the class as an entity. Doctrine will manage this class and map it to a database table. ID specifies the primary key of the table. Column defines a column in the table and its type, such as string or integer. 2. Properties. The properties of the entity represent the columns of the database table. For example, $ID, $title, and $content map to the ID, title, and content columns in the database. 3. Getter and setter methods. Getters, used to retrieve the value of a property. For instance, getTitle returns the value of $title. Setters, used to set or update the value of a property. For instance, setTitle $title assigns a value to $title. Step 3. Applying migrations. Migrations allow you to update your database schema to match the structure defined in your entity classes. Once you generate a migration file, it contains the SQL required to create or modify tables. Applying the migration updates the database schema. Step 4. Saving data to the database. In a controller, you can create an instance of the entity class, set values for its properties, and use Doctrine's Entity Manager to persist and save it. The process includes persist $entity, prepares the entity to be saved. Flush executes the SQL queries to save the data. Step 5. Retrieving data. To retrieve data, Symfony allows you to resolve an entity by its unique identifier, e.g., ID. This is done using Symfony's routing system and Doctrine's ability to fetch data automatically. Step 6. Testing the application. Once your entity and controllers are set up, you can test by creating new records and viewing them through your routes.